We're already, I'm over at the Honda Heritage Center, first week of March. It's open Thursday for 5 hours from 10 to 3. It's been pretty well attended, but there's no coverage on YouTube about it since it reopened. So here we are. This is kind of grainy over here. That's our lock division that's in town. This is a cool map. It's showing clear up in, like, that's not Ferndale, but the map on the wall, it's in here too, but in this book. That's a lot more power sports than I thought they would do. The outdoor power equipment, cool Honda Jet. But this all changed, and now it's 2023. Now it's electric, and now it's the biggest, the craziest numbers into the billions. These guys are South Carolina. That's the guys that are up here. There's a group of people in here today. And you've seen the dots all over the United States. And if you're making 800,000 to a million automobiles, you need to buy the parts somewhere. This building where we're at, no, that's back to R&D. Mountain View, California. Kind of jumps all over the place, doesn't it? This film, and it just keeps flashing it, how videos do. But so this is a really cool poster that this one shows. I call him the old man, Hiroshima Honda. It's really Scirocco though, but this is going back into 1965 right there, because they've been here 60 years, and that would be 1963 was 60 years ago. And that shows Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys founder, Brian Wilson. That's the guy who those Helter Skelter people, Uncle Charlie, Charles Manson from Cincinnati, and they kidnapped him in Texas. So he was the big money guy, the Brian Wilson, and someone had a band named the Hondells in '64. Brian Wilson came out with a song called Little Honda. So I wasn't even born yet, so but this shows the Hondells poster with the Honda scooters. Honda Beach Party. And if you were in Ohio in that year and 60 years ago, you couldn't buy one because there was no dealer to buy one. But Honda came over here from Japan, and out in California they started selling bikes out of the back of their pickups, and people were buying them. This shows in Indianapolis in 1965, 57 years ago. They were the pit bikes official. And that looks like Scirocco, because he was a race car guy, the old man. And these pictures are so old, I don't know, maybe that's Scirocco in his younger days. It is Scirocco. I keep calling Hiroshima, but that's a white lady there, so his wife wasn't over here with him. Cause, this actually shows his wife, I think, because he'd have to bring her over from Japan. And this is when he was here in Marysville in '82, or maybe even later than that. When he put his handprints in here, I'll show you. He's still in Japan in this photo, I think. It's pretty grainy. There's a weld department. Here's where he puts his hands in the stand, and here in Ohio, and I'll fit that in this film real quick. Just small hands. He's a Japanese guy. Bigger than life. There's a bunch of people I went to high school with. A groundbreaking for probably the East Liberty plant at that time, because he was already going through the Marysville plant, and then a motorcycle plant started, and okay, he was breaking ground for the engine plant over 20-30 miles from here. Here he is. That's the last time he was over here. And it showed his wife in this photo, which I thought was cool. And he's showing you the engine, the casting. They still cast our blocks over there. It's kind of high energy in the way they move. Photo opportunities with Scirocco. And when you come to work here, they planted a tree and named it after you. Until they ran out of trees. They're looking at a tree, planting a tree for someone. Horse playing, I call it the 80s hairdos. Slogan, and corporations try to fit themselves in different personas or whatever to appeal to certain types of people, some like Wendy's kind of people. I want to show the museum in Japan's over here with the motorcycles, because I'm not going to go to Japan, but people that work here go there all the time. He died in 91, wow. So some of the best cars were coming out at that time. So you don't hear much about his wife, though. And there was one son, Mugo, that I remember Mugo. A quick look over here at the, and then we'll go over to the stand, but this is a museum of motorcycles, which Honda is a motorcycle company. These are some street bikes. This is in Japan. Road racers. Ooh. This is interactive. It's not that big of a screen, but so here's some kind of a crossover bikes. Like, this is what they ride over there, because you don't want a gazillion cc race bike. You want, 100 miles per gallon. And then that's what you can get that with one of these. And these scooters are ridden in Japan, and this is in the museum. And there's a 3-wheeler ones, and they show where Honda to move one of these. They have one with a boom, a jib, a tow truck one. Those are some classic old ones in the back. I'm not used to doing this type of a thing. These are their fat tire mini bikes in the museum in Japan, and more show museum bikes in the back. Photos, black and white throughout. The passports of several different configurations, and this is all going electric. Different seating through the years, kind of the collection display in their museum in Japan. Now there's the 185. And were those Mexican bikes? I don't know. Classic Honda Museum. The Road Kings, King of the Road ones, the Dreams. The race bikes, taking first place and everything. And then the water-cooled ones there. This one here is the one we built here in Marysville. No, it's a 4-cylinder. Here it is, the CBX in here. That's why they built our plant here and built motorcycles, and then they beat Volkswagen and ended up building automobiles here. Because someone was going to come here, we just didn't know who. Hi. And then over here, I'll show you the sand, where his hands are in the sand right here. It's a busy place, but wanted to film here. There's the old man's handprints. At the Honda Heritage Museum. Thank you for watching, Bill Murderby.